Hi guys, this is Aziz back with another video. Today I want to do a presentation. I prepared this slide of my own about Bitcoin because there seems to be a lot of news regarding it, a lot of buzz and a lot of hype regarding it. Recently, an ETF presented by the Winklevoss twins got rejected, and after that, there was another ETF rejected. There's also some revenue sharing programs that are based around Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. And there's obviously the scaling debate, which is also going on between Bitcoin Segway and Unlimited. That's why I thought this is a really good time, and I've also done some trading, or I'm looking into getting into proper trading Bitcoin and altcoins, alternative coins. So I thought people always ask me what Bitcoin is at work, and randomly. So I thought I'd do a video on it. So hope this video helps, and if you like it, then do share it. Um, so what is Bitcoin? So first of all, I'm just going to talk about who made Bitcoin, so who created Bitcoin, and then I'll go into what Bitcoin is. So a person called Satoshi Nakamoto. It might be a person, it could be an organization. We don't know who it is. Some media outlets claim to know who they are. They've dropped some names, but there's no concrete evidence on who Satoshi Nakamoto is, or if it's even a person or organization. We don't know. We have no idea who it is. That's the name they used to go by online when they first introduced Bitcoin in 2008 on the Bitcoin white paper. So that's the name everyone knows, but we just don't know who, or who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Just before I go to the next slide, now what's more important than knowing who it is does it really matter knowing who it is? It doesn't, because Bitcoin is all open source, as in developers and coders can actually see all the coding in Bitcoin. So it doesn't really matter who it is, because it's not like there's anything hidden in there that you can't see, that you have to trust the person. You don't really need to trust the person, because now you can see everything that they've created. It's not a big deal knowing who Satoshi Nakamoto is now, because developers, hundreds of developers, or if not thousands of developers, have looked at the Bitcoin code, and there's even been people try to crack the code, but no one has managed to do so yet. So what is Bitcoin? So there's different ways of defining it, but I'll try to keep it the most concise, short, but as much as information as possible. So a peer-to-peer decentralized deflationary cryptocurrency. So what does this mean? I'll break it down bit by bit. So peer-to-peer means there's no intermediaries in a Bitcoin transaction. So if I was to send money from my Barclays account to a HSBC account, Barclays would know, HSBC would know, and the person I'm sending the money to would know, and any one of them can interfere with the transaction. Whereas Bitcoin is different. I send the money to John, and that's it. No one else knows the transaction. There is a ledger or a blockchain where the transaction is recorded, but the names are not mentioned there. Okay, so it's decentralized, meaning there's no central authority, or there's no central server which has the bitcoins. Bitcoin is decentralized. Everyone on the network is like a part of the company, so to speak. It's not a company, but everyone has the miners, or the people that um, uh, produce the bitcoins. They all have some of the bitcoin with them. So you can basically, the best way to understand it is, you can't really attack it, because there's no one place to attack in Bitcoin. Deflationary, what I mean by that is, there's a limited number of Bitcoin that's ever going to be mined. So there's 21 million that's going to be mined by 2140, and so far there's about 16 million mined so far. And because of this deflationary concept, the price, or it increases demand, just like gold, because there's a certain amount of gold. That's why it creates that scarcity, and well, anything that's scarce, it always creates a demand, unlike normal fiat currency, where governments can print it at their will. So cryptocurrency, all I mean by that is the network, the Bitcoin network, is secured by cryptography. Um, I don't want to go too much into that, but just understand that it's very advanced computer science involved in cryptography, and it hasn't been hacked so far, so it definitely works. So is Bitcoin a form of money? This is pretty straightforward. I've seen big economists say it's a form of money. Whether they agree with Bitcoin or disagree, that's a different story. But on the next slide, I'm going to try to break it down to why it fits the bill. So there's a few properties or some properties of money, or qualities of money. So something to be considered as money, it has to have some properties. That's debatable as well, what the properties are, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible. So there needs to be some sort of scarcity. This isn't that important because, as we know, all fiat currencies have pretty much an unlimited supply. So that's not that important, but I thought I'd put that in there because if something has scarcity, it increases the value naturally because there's more demand in it. Durable, so Bitcoin is durable. It's not physical, so you can't really break it or tamper with it. It's all it's all digital, like most of the money in circulation now. More than 90% of money it exists in digital form. So if everyone went to the bank asking for the money, the bank wouldn't be able to give it because it doesn't exist physically. That's why in Spain and Greece, whenever there's a run on the banks, the ATMs are reprogrammed to give a certain amount because that's how much the banks actually have. They can't really afford to give everything in physical form. Is it fungible? So fungible just means all bitcoins are same. My Bitcoin is the same as your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is definitely fungible. Is it divisible? So divisible just means you can, like a £5 note, you can give me five £1, or you can give me 500 1p's. If a £5 note is divisible, so Bitcoin is divisible. You can break it up into 100 million pieces, and what 100 of a million pieces called a Satoshi. Okay. Is it portable? So it's definitely portable. It's one of the more it's just like how we have money right now, how we have pounds and fiat currency is very portable. Anyone, you can spend it anywhere, but we'll get more into that later. But it's definitely portable, verifiable. So when someone sends you Bitcoin, the network actually checks, is it a real Bitcoin, or if it's something else. If it's not real, the network won't even accept it in the first place. So it is verifiable. My Bitcoin wallet won't accept something else. Like even an altcoin, if you try to send me Ethereum, it wouldn't even accept it. So it definitely is verifiable. Acceptance or accepted, it is accepted by a lot of people. There's more than like 800. Last time I checked, Bitcoin was trading 24-hour volume was like 600-700 million dollars in on the open market. So there are huge retailers that do accept Bitcoin as well. So there's definitely acceptance and a store of value. So this is actually quite important. This is something that a lot of people don't realize or don't think is that important. But for money to be money, it has to store a value for a long period of time. So, for example, if you worked 100 hours and you got £100, and inflation's at 2%, now after 1 year you had £100, you're only going to be able to spend 98. You'll have £100 still, but you're only going to be able to spend 98% worth of your money because of the inflation. Now, that's because there's a lot of things got to do with it, but because of the rate the money's being printed at, that actually doesn't help the store of value. There's no scarcity, but with Bitcoin, because of the scarcity and other factors, it creates a demand for it, and thus stores its value. So just to put it into perspective, Bitcoin's been one of the best asset classes of most of its lifetime. It's obviously, like I said, it was created in 2008, or at least that's when it was first presented. And as you can see, these are the returns if you were to purchase it on the first day of the year and keep it to present. I don't want to go over in the numbers, but this is a tweet I got from Bank to the Future on Twitter. So why would you want to use Bitcoin instead of anything else, any traditional currency form like pound and dollars, etc.? Well, so first of all, it's fast. It's free also. It's secure to send Bitcoin to Bitcoin. So from one Bitcoin wallet to another Bitcoin wallet is secure. It's borderless as well. So this is a good example. Like if I want to send money from England to another country, for example, Bangladesh, I'll have to use like I'll get really high fees, and I'll have to do a different kind of transaction just because I'm doing it abroad. With Bitcoin, it's the same thing. It's borderless and it'll be free. It's also irreversible, which is good for merchants or chargebacks. You can't get the money back you paid someone. This could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. But if you send money to the wrong address, the only way you can get it back is by asking the person to give it back. There's no other like company or something you can go to get your bitcoins back. Now, as for the first two, fast and free, because the network has gone so big now, it's gone a bit more congested compared to when it was originally created, and thus it's not as fast and as free as it used to be. There's fees now, and it also takes a while depending on your Bitcoin fee. So how does it work? So like gold, Bitcoin is mined, but it's mined in a different way. So miners solve complex math problems to earn Bitcoin. So they have specialized computer chips and software to mine Bitcoin. Now, whenever they solve the complex math problems, they're rewarded in Bitcoin. And every time there's a Bitcoin transaction, when the miners confirm it, then they're also rewarded in Bitcoin. Now, whenever they add a transaction to the ledger, which is called a blockchain, that's when they earn Bitcoin. Now, this process is basically called mining. Any any of the bitcoins being mined, as in mass problem being solved, or confirming transaction, and obviously this reduces double spending. Someone can't spend the money that they've already spent because it's already been added to the public ledger called the blockchain. So how do you get started with Bitcoin? So it's very simple, just like a bank. If you wanted to earn money, etc., or send money to someone, you'd have to open a bank account, and they'd give you an account number, sort code, and you use that account number and sort code to receive money. So this is very similar to Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, you can go to a website called Coinbase.com, Zappo, Blockchain.info. I'll leave the links in the description. But you just go to a website, you open an account, they'll give you a wallet, and that basically you just need to keep that address, and then you buy Bitcoin from the website, so you can use your pounds or dollars, your currency of that country, and buy it. If you want to get it at a market price, then you can open an account in Poloniex, which is a bit more complicated, but I'm going to do videos on that, and you can basically buy it from there. So Bitcoin and altcoins, Poloniex is mainly for altcoins, but the simplest way is probably to go to Coinbase or Zappo, and then once you've got Bitcoins in your account, you can buy stuff in different retailers or even send people Bitcoin. And the good thing is you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can literally buy £10 worth of Bitcoin and just get your feet wet. And then if you like it, you can actually buy more Bitcoin worth more Bitcoin. So, as you can tell, this is a complicated subject, and I've tried to simplify as much as possible. But if this interests you and you want to go down the rabbit hole and understand more about Bitcoin, then these are probably some really good places to start. So, a book called Digital Gold by Nathaniel Popper or Puba. I probably butchered his name, so I'm sorry for that. But it's a very good book, and it gives you a story of the earliest adopters of Bitcoin, and that's really good to understand, to know the role that they play now. I follow pretty much all of them on Twitter and read the articles, because these were some of the people that actually helped Bitcoin survive and that spoke to Satoshi Nakamoto in the early days. So that's a very good book to read. The Internet of Money by Andres Antonopoulos, who's a security expert. His YouTube channel is very insightful and it's got a lot of information. Highly recommend that. And you can just go to bitcoin.com and learn more. Obviously, there's tons of places where you can learn about Bitcoin, but these are a good few starters. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.